making zero payments to a seller on a seller financing deal. Today we're going to be talking about the strategy on how to not make any payments to the actual seller financing holder during the term of the deal. Hey, I'm Dave from Investor Mel and Dave. My wife and I have now purchased over 240 units using creative financing and other people's money, solely owning with no joint venture partners, and we've done so in 5 different countries, right? Canada, US, Costa Rica, Mexico, and Dominican Republic. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button as we release a video every single week. Okay, so I know you're probably thinking, this sounds too good to be true, Dave. How are you doing deals with seller financing and making zero payments? Okay, I know it does sound too good to be true, but it's not, okay? And I'm gonna be talking about one of our most recent deals that we did this way. This was actually a single family home, which I know typically we do multifamily, but this particular deal was a single family home in Costa Rica. And full disclosure, we never met this seller. I think he was actually in Sweden or Switzerland. Everything was done directly through the real estate agent in Costa Rica. So all negotiations were done through them. For us, it was actually very, very easy considering we live in Canada, the deal is in Costa Rica, and they're in Switzerland. So before we dive in, the gist of how we were able to do this is balloon financing. And I'll explain this and I'll explain why the seller would actually do this. So balloon financing, the general concept is, right, less in the beginning and more at the end. It balloons at the end. And I use this all the time now, whether it's on the interest rate, right, a little bit in the beginning, balloon it to the end, whether it's the actual monthly payment, quarterly payment, annual payment, all of the above. Balloon payments are a beautiful way to actually be able to structure the deal that might not have made sense in the beginning, but then done with this type of financing makes sense. So this particular zero payment to the seller deal went as follows. We negotiated a first mortgage seller financing, right? I'm sure you're not surprised now from what I've been saying, with a 1-year term. Okay, a 1-year term, I believe it was 6% interest rate, 1-year term. All of the payments were ballooned to the end. So every single month for that 12-year term, we had zero mortgage payment to the actual seller. That's why I call this video zero mortgage payment, okay? So during that time, we did a renovation, right? We did a flip. We knew we were gonna have to flip this property because that was our exit strategy. So what we did was renovated in the beginning. I think it took like maybe 30 to 60 days to rehab it. We got a crew in there. We hired an interior decorator. She did an amazing job. Bing, bang, boom, done. Okay, obviously a little more complicated than that, but done. Then after that, we had it rented short-term rental. So this place was making us, on average, 4 figures of income every single month. And on top of that, because we had zero payments to the actual mortgage holder, which was the seller, okay? So every single month, 4 figures of income. Come the end of that 12-month term, we listed it roughly about 2 to 3 months before, so at like the 9-month mark, we actually listed that property for sale. So this property sold with these just like we knew. So at the end of the 1-year term, I think it was about a couple of weeks before the actual 12-month mark, we firmed up, right? We closed on the property, it's sold. So the deed went to the new owner. I have no idea where they were from. Doesn't matter, right? The new owner owned the property. So on closing, we received through the lawyers, again, just like in Costa Rica, just like in Canada, just like in the US, the attorneys, escrow, all of that is done pretty much the same. Hey, stop the video for a second. I wanted to talk to you about a turnkey income property provider that Mel and I have purchased properties for. Now listen up. If you are looking for a income property, then you don't have the time for it, I have a solution for you that I have invested in myself. They will find the property for you, they will renovate it for you, they will give you a turnkey product, and they will get tenants in there for you after screening it and manage the property. Does this sound too good to be true? It is not. Click the link below, go check out this exclusive list, find your next turnkey income property, and book your free call with them so they can go through all the benefits of what they provide. And you'll be investing in properties just like Mel and I. Okay, enough excitement about this. Let's get back to the episode. The funds were sent to the closing lawyer's office. So from there, they paid out the first mortgage that the seller was holding for us, plus all of the interest that they did not collect during that period of time, that they only collected at the end. And you're thinking, Dave, I thought you said zero payments. Hear me out. And let me just keep going on this. Then from there, because to get into this deal, we actually borrowed a promissory note for the down payment. So now the property is sold, and let's talk about how it was zero payments from Mel and I to the actual seller, or to anyone actually, because we bought that place 100% financed by other people's money. Okay, first up, seller financing. So during the period of that time, we did not make a single payment, okay? When the deal closed, yes, they were made whole. They were paid first. They had a first charge or first lien position on the actual property. So they received all of the capital that they were actually holding for us, plus all of the interest that I did not pay them during that entire year. So they were made whole, capital plus interest. Okay, let's keep going down the road here. The down payment, okay, right? This was actually borrowed as a promissory note. Back in Canada, I borrowed a promissory note and I actually used that as my down payment. Okay, so on closing of the asset, I was reimbursed that money. I didn't keep the money. I paid it out to the private lender plus interest. They did a year term with no payments throughout that period of time. Everything was ballooned right to the end to pay once the asset had actually gone up in appreciation, because we did the flip, and we actually had the money from the proceeds of the sale to pay it. Okay, so two things here. You're gonna say, well, Dave, you had to put some money down on the down payment when you bought the place. Yes, but it was none of my own money. Okay, so yes, did the seller get that money? Yeah, technically got the downstroke, right, initially. But during the actual seller financing phase of things, there was zero payment made. And I want you to look at it this way. We got into this asset with seller financing and a promissory note. Now, the promissory note was enough to pay for the closing costs, some of the carrying costs in the beginning while there was no rental, and the renovations, okay? So think of that, none of our own money, everything was borrowed. Now, we did not pay for anything because when the asset sold, everyone got paid from the proceeds of the sale. Zero money from our pocket, okay? And I want to let that sink in. When you can start doing deals with no money out of your own pocket, this is super powerful. Think of the leverage there. Think of the other people's money leverage that you can do and how many deals you can buy. Now, this all sounds great, but we predetermined this exit strategy in the beginning. So when Mel and I looked at the deal, we knew if we did X, Y, Z, because we looked at comparables and that, we knew that if we got the asset to a certain evaluation, we would have our exit strategy, sell the property, pay everyone back, and we were actually left with a profit of $104,000 USD. Right, in Costa Rica, they deal with USD dollars. So this is to show you zero payments during the cycle of the 12-month, right, during the 12-month term, zero payments from us, none of our own money, buying an asset, controlling the asset, making cash flow. The $104,000 does not include the four-figure on average income that we made from that short-term rental. And at the end of the day, the seller liquidated their asset. They helped themselves tax-wise for holding a mortgage, and now they've made interest and they're happy. They sold the asset, they're made whole, plus capital and interest, they're happy. The promissory note lender that lent us the money for the down payment and carrying costs, etc., they got their capital back plus their interest, they're happy. Mel and I got to control, own, make money from the asset. We actually visited it. Check out these pictures here, that's us there. So we got to control this asset and actually go visit it and make cash flow for an entire year without making a payment, okay? And now we've left with, well, I shouldn't say left with, we have gracefully $104,000 profit, all while doing this from our home here in North Bay, Ontario, Canada, like we do all our investment in the 5 different countries. So thank you for staying right to the end on this zero payment seller financing structure deal. And if you want to see more deals like this, check out this video. I'm Dave, and I'll see you in the next one.